Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Devoted to You by the Everly Brothers. And we know capoing this on 4th fret to kind of match the recording, but it starts off with a couple really cool licks around some chords. And we start off on a C major chord. The way we play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret, and third finger on the A string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now you may also want to think about lifting off the first finger and kind of making that a C major 7 chord. Or you could add in the pinky on the B string 3rd fret and make that a C major 9 if you kind of dig that, kind of saying some things around the C chord. Or another way to play C major 9, we'd be doing first finger on the D 2nd, second finger on the A string 3rd, third finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. And if we strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the C chord, we'd be going to a G major chord. Normally you do this first finger on the A string 2nd, second finger on the low E 3rd, third finger on the high E 3rd. And if you kind of strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also kind of dig on putting the pinky on, or third finger on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret, kind of working that for your G major chord. Sounds really, really happy. And then from the G on our intro, we go back to our C chord, but then we go to an F major chord. When we play F major, normally you do this as a bar on 1st fret. We'll talk about some easier ways to do this too. But then second finger on the G 2nd fret, third finger on the A 3rd fret, pinky on the D string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an F major bar chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now if you're just starting out there, you just want to avoid the bars. A good substitute for that is something called F major 7, where you do the first finger on the B string 1st fret, second finger on the G 2nd fret, third finger on the D string 3rd fret, and if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds an F major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now there's a couple strumming options you may want to try through the tune though. You can almost kind of work it as almost a down idea if you kind of dig on that, kind of a C2, 3, 4, G2, 3, 4, C2, 3, 4, F2, 3, 4 through the intro. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the C and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. There's a couple ways to apply that to the intro though. You may want to try just half the strum pattern, kind of a down, down, up on each chord. G, down, up, C, down, up, F, down, up. Or if you dig on this, you could kind of half or split the pattern. So you can do the C with the down, down, up, go to the G for the up, down, up, and then C with the down, down, up, and then F with the up, down, up. Kind of dig on that. So C, down, up, G, up, down, C, down, down, up, F, up, down, up. Or something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, you can throw in a bass for the chord. So on the C, normally you'd have the A string for a bass. On the G, you normally have the low E string for the bass. But on that intro, it almost sounds like you'd be bringing out the A string on the 2nd fret as kind of your bass note on that chord. So you'd be aiming for the A string for the bass. And that's something called G/B, or a G chord with a B in the bass. And then from the G/B, we'd be going back to the C with the A bass. And then we have the F with kind of a bass on the D string for the F major 7, or low E string for your bass on the F major bar. So you could make it a bass down up on each chord, kind of a C, down up, G/B, down up, C, down up, F, down up. Or you could add in basses with the halving idea. C with the bass, down up, G, up, down, C with an A bass, down up, F, up, down, with a split idea. Or you will hear these cool little licks through that part. And you can kind of start on the C chord and do the A string and the B string at the same time, and then open G, and then 3rd fret on the high E string. So you may want to take the pinky and kind of add that in on the high E 3rd, and then open G, and then we go to 2nd fret on the A string with the open B at the same time, open G, 3rd fret on the high E, open G, and then back to the C for the 3rd on the A with the 1st on the B at the same time, open G, 3rd on the high E, and then open G, and then 3rd fret on the D string with the open B at the same time, open G, 3rd fret on the high E, and then open G. So you kind of dig on that too, and actually you may want to even think about the pinky just kind of hanging out on that 3rd fret on the high E through that whole lick actually. And I'm doing that hybrid picking. You may want to try it finger style too, but kind of pick for my basses, fingers for the other notes of the lick. kind of work it through the tune too. People are like, oh my gosh, it's devoted to you. I love this song. Or rhythmically, actually, one other thing that you'll hear through the tune is almost kind of a bass down idea, almost bass down kind of a deal. So you could kind of try that a lot too, kind of a bass down bass down bass down bass down, and it's a little weird. We're kind of counting that as 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of the way you'd kind of feel that normally. Through the intro, though, all those chords half, so you may want to just do bass down through all those chords to kind of dig on matching that feel of the tune. And then from there, then we'll be going into our main verse idea, our main verse chorus. And we start on C major, and then we go to G, and then back to C, and then we do another C, and then we go back to G, and then back to C, and then we go to F, but then we go to an E minor chord. And the way you play E minor, first finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the D 2nd fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about adding in the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd for the E minor 7. And actually, if you dig on that voicing, for the F, you could even use something called F major 13, where you do the 1st finger on the G 2nd, 2nd finger on the D 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. It's kind of another way to work your F chord. So that makes that a little bit easier to kind of get to that. You may want to play around with that. And then from the E minor, we'd be going to a D minor chord, where you do 1st finger on the high E 1st fret, 2nd finger on the G 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, and if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about lifting off the 1st finger, making that a D sus2, or you can add in the pinky on the high E 3rd for a D suspended chord to kind of say some things around D minors in general. And then from the D minor, we go back to our C, and then our F, and then a G, and then there's kind of this big G hit where you may want to do a big down. And on the first verse chorus, actually, we end up kind of doing a C for kind of our 4 count again at the very end. So if we try that through our whole verse, we'd have a kind of C, G, C, C, G, C, F, E minor, D minor, C, F, G, G hit, 2 C is kind of our main idea through that part. And then we'll basically be repeating that twice and then going into our bridge part. And our bridge starts on the D minor chord, and then we go to our E minor chord, but then we go to an A minor chord when we play A minor. 1st finger goes to the B on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the G 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now around A minors in general, you may want to lift off the 1st finger, make that an A suspended 2nd, or you could add in the pinky on the B 3rd for an A suspended chord and kind of say some things around A minors. Or you could lift off the 3rd finger and make it an A minor 7, or you could add in the pinky on the high E 3rd for an A minor 7. Or you could kind of work this as an A7 sus. If you kind of dig it on that C major non-voicing, you could do 1st finger on the D 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. And if you kind of strum the A string to the high E string, it sounds an A7 sus, and it sounds slightly unresolved. And if you kind of dig on kind of leaving down those fingers, you could work it as kind of the D sus, and then the E minor, A7 sus, D sus, G, and then the C major knot, if you kind of dig on those voicings. D minor, E minor, A minor. But then at the very end, we go to a D major chord, and the way you play D major. So now it's happy D. We do 1st finger on the G 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, and if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now while you're on Ds, you may want to lift off the 2nd finger, dangerous finger to lift, and make that a D suspended 2nd, or you could add in the pinky on the high E 3rd for a D suspended chord and kind of say some things around the D chord. Or if you want to give that a lot of pull, actually you can use something called D7 instead, where you do 1st finger on the B string 1st fret, 2nd finger on the G 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd fret, and if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D7, which sounds terrible, it's nasty, but it kind of really helps point to the G chord if you kind of dig on that. Now just like the D though, for the D7, you could lift off the 3rd finger, make that a D7 sus2. Or you could add in the pinky on the high E third for kind of a D suspended chord. Kind of say some things around that chord too. And then we'd be going to a G major chord at the very end. But if you kind of dig in on that 7 kind of sound, you could make it a G7 chord where you do first finger on the high E first fret, second finger on the A second fret, third finger on the low E third fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds a G7 chord. It sounds really nasty, but that really helps point to the C chord if you kind of dig on that sound. And you will hear this cool little bass line through that G, kind of third fret on the low E, and then first fret on the low E, open E, and then open D. It's kind of like a little pointing bass line, kind of 3, 1, 0, 0. So you can even kind of follow the bass line through that too. So all the way through our whole bridge, we'd have kind of the D minor, E minor, A minor, D minor, G, C, D minor, E minor, A minor, D7, G. To lead, kind of missed that a little bit, but kind of lead into our next verse. And then we'd be repeating those parts until the very end. Actually, we have some cool little outro licks at the very end around the C and the G. But the weird part is to play along with the Everly Brothers. Instead of starting on a C chord, they're starting on an E major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and you put the capo on 4th fret, then now your C is really an E major chord, and your G is really a B major chord, and your F is really an A major chord, and your E minor is really a G sharp minor, and your D minor is really an F sharp minor, and your D major is really an F sharp major, and the A minor is really a C sharp minor chord. But to take it from the very beginning, actually, you could kind of work just that chord progression in kind of that C, G/B, C, F, or you could use the down, down, up on each chord. C, G, C, F, or you could split the pattern. C, down, G, up, down, C, down, F, up, down, or you could add basses. C, G/B, C, F, or you could add the basses in half the or split the pattern. C the bass, down, F, up, down, up, or you may kind of dig on that cha-cha kind of idea, kind of the bass, cha-cha, G/B, C, F, kind of working that way. Or you could gravitate to those licks, kind of that 3, 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3, 0, 3, 1, 0, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, kind of working that idea too. And then from there, then we'd be going into our first verse. So we tried that with kind of a bass, down, up, down, up. We'd have kind of the C, G with low E bass, C with an A bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, C with an A bass, F with low E bass, C minor low E bass, D minor with D bass, C with an A bass, F, G, and then kind of our big G, to C, down, up, down. And then from there, we'll be going into our second verse. Now, if you kind of dig on that kind of that bass cha-cha idea, then you have kind of that C, G, C, C, G, C, F, E minor, D minor, C, F, G, G hit. And then on that last C in the second verse, we just kind of do that idea one time to lead into our bridge part. And if we tried our bridge with kind of a bass, down, up, down, up, we'd have the D minor, D minor with low E bass, A minor with an A bass, D minor, G, C, D minor, E minor, A minor, D or D7, G. Or if you kind of dig it on the cha-cha idea, you'd have a D minor, E minor, A minor, D minor, G, C, D minor, E minor, A minor, D7, G. Or you could grab that bass line, which would be very cool too. And then from there, we'll be going into our next verse. So we've got our C, G, C, or we can mix it up between those ideas. C, G, C, F, E minor, D minor, C, F, G, big G hit, 2, and we got kind of our C for kind of just a bass down up if you're doing that of feel, or just the bass down, down, kind of an idea, to lead into our next bridge. And now if you know other licks around these chords, free to kind of add them in, you know, and kind of make the tune your own. Actually, there's a lot of different things you can kind of say with this song. And to lead into our last verse chorus. So we're going to C, G, C, C, G, C, F, E minor, D minor, C, F, G, kind of a big G again, to lead into our outro part. And on our outro, you may want to kind of work that C as kind of that bass, down, up, down, G with the bass, down, make kind of a big C. Or if you're digging on kind of that cha-cha idea, kind of C, G, C. Or you will hear these cool little licks through that part where you could play the open E, open G, open E, open G, third on the high E, open G, open E, open G, third on the B, open G, third on the B, open G, and then kind of first fret on the B. If you kind of dig on that. Or you could add basses to that too, actually kind of that oh, 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 3, oh, 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 3, oh, 3, oh, 1. Or you could kind of throw in the third fret on the A string when you kind of start that lick, kind of third on the A with the open E, and then third on the A with the third on the high E, and the open E. But then you could do third on the low E string with the third on the B string, and then back to the third on the A with the first fret on the B. Kind of dig on that too. We can fill that in with a little bit of the chords, and we'll play around with that too. But that's the basics of how you can strum through "Devoted to You" by the Everly Brothers. So good luck.